Okay, here we'll get a look at the Mid-Fidelity prototype of the desktop version of the adoption page. We've got beginning just at the home page for the user journey to start with and going through the top navigation to the adoption page. Here we've got just a quick blurb about what the rescue's values are when it comes to adoption, as well as a call to action to get the application started. But we've also got in the viewport the steps to the process, at least a quick preview, so people can scroll down, get an idea of what they're looking for before they just start applying. And then obviously we'll go down to the list of animals that are at the rescue currently. We've got a carousel style scroll to take a look at various animals just to keep the page load down, to have fewer things to show at once. And also next to it, we'll have a quick video of success stories to let the user connect a bit more with the animals at the rescue and also give a sense of what the values are when it comes to adopting, what goes into a successful guardian pet companion relationship based on just past stories. And we'll have a couple of carousels just so they can see perhaps one for dogs, one for cats, or we'll sort by a top menu. That is kind of up to the stakeholder and what they want to do, but this is just kind of proof of concept for now, what the desktop version would look like. And if we move on to the mobile prototype version, we'll here be starting at the home page, but then going to adoption. We'll see again this similar hero image with the passage of text taken out to be more economical with space. We've got the adoption steps just as titles without the passages to accompany them, again, for just economy of text to not flood the viewport with a lot of things to read and overcomplicate the issue. We'll start with the success story just to give people a good beginning and feeling of connection again with the animals at the rescue. And then a couple of easy carousels to use that will limit the amount of images shown per page and give the user more of a kind of social media feel where they only see one or two things at once but can scroll between as easily as they like. And then we've got calls to action to meet individual animals or go to a list that will show just every animal all the way down and give the option to not have to use a carousel style browsing method. And that is the mobile version of the Mid-Fidelity prototype. And we'll move on here to take a look at the adoption process for the Hi-Fidelity current live version of the desktop page. We'll start at the home page just to get a sense of the full user journey for people who come to the website looking to adopt. We'll obviously just keep the adoption page right in the top navigation, but as you'll see here, we've got two options for how to follow this journey. The top one uses the page that was present before the upgrade to the website. Here, we've got only a part of the page that is actually significantly editable. Above this menu, we can add some information, but everything below the menu is beholden to a template that is not very easy to alter. And it's not able to paginate. So we have to show a very large amount of animals at any given time. About the only things that can be altered are the text color and font from changing global settings and the images themselves. The actual size can vary depending on what the volunteer decides to upload. So some things don't align very well, but these are just kind of things we have to live with. What we can change is adding the application to the top and a quick disclaimer of how old you need to be. But other than that, the actual prototype that we implemented has to be done on its own page, and we'll call that the adoption process page. Here we've got a quicker load time because we can control how many images we show. We can compress them so that they don't take very long to load, and our page is much more accessible. Here we start with a hero image that gives a quick blurb again about the rescue's values when it comes to adopting, as well as a call to action that can take the user directly to the list of animals if that's what they're looking for. But we can also see right away that the steps to adopting are prominent, and there is a short explanation of each step, why it's important, and what the user should expect to happen. Below that, we, instead of showing a carousel of animals that are available for adoption, decided to show the important qualities to look for in a guardian: responsibility, compatibility with the animal, their preparedness, awareness, and knowledge, as well as flexibility, since most adoptions are toughest in the first few months, and it's important for the guardian to be able to make changes to accommodate their new companion. According to the stakeholder, we also wanted to include some important statistics that would show people why we so strongly adhere to these values. So we noted that adoptions are often 1 in 10 times undone within the first 6 months. We note the amount of animals that reside at Famous Fido, as well as the cost of keeping an animal companion, because a lot of people who returned to Famous Fido did not know one of these important statistics, and they probably would have made a difference to keeping the animal in the home or preventing an adoption process that ultimately would not be successful. Once the user has gone through this important information, they can click on a call to action that will bring them to the actual page that lists animals available for adoption. This was the original page that was visible, and some people may decide to go here first, but giving them one more place to travel in order to get information before getting here was a goal that we could best achieve, we thought, by creating a dedicated adoption page. And people can make it here eventually anyway, and then they can browse animals at their leisure. And that is the desktop version of the live Famous Fido adoption page website. And last, we'll go through the mobile version of the live Hi-Fidelity adoption page for the Famous Fido site. We've got this set to iPhone Pro, which is the most common device that people use to access our site. So we'll start at the beginning of the user journey at the home page and navigate through the hamburger menu to get to the adoption. Now, users may notice there's a caret here, and they can see they have two options, just like on the desktop version for their adoption user journey. Or if they just see adoption and click right away, we made that a link directly to the adoption process page where people would get the information they need before actually browsing animals, to get the idea of what is involved, to get the idea of what kind of qualities we look for, etc. The idea was floated to make that first button, this top button, go to the actual menu and options to browse animals, which is technically the adopt a cat or dog page. But we thought it would be more important to send people to the place where they would get the information first, since that was something users expressed a want for and the stakeholder finds important. So we have the option to go right here in the call to action to meet specific residents, but we can also see for anybody who is interested in the steps to adopting that these are laid out in single column format with brief explanations. We didn't take out text like we did in the hero image, because this text was pretty important as far as spelling things out. We did the same thing for the section that gives the qualities that we look for in good animal guardians. We kept the brief sentence of or two of text there to describe what we mean by awareness, knowledge, flexibility, etc. And we kept the statistics that the stakeholder wanted to be sure we shared, so people get an idea of what they're getting into before they start adopting. And they can continue their user journey on from here to see the actual list of animals. Just like on the desktop page, they'll have to go through the entire page if they don't click that call to action in the hero. And then hopefully that means they've gone through the page, they've read the qualifications that we're looking for, and now that they're here to browse animals that are currently at the rescue, they can say that they've got a little bit more knowledge of the process because they've gone through the adoption process page. So that is the user journey and the adoption process page in the mobile view of the Famous Fido website.